Hi Statesman Nation, it's Wade Steinloggy, and you're in the locker room presented by Malcolm Lumber. On this week's show, we'll talk about last week's games, including a massive win by the women's basketball team, as well as just what can be considered simple domination by the baseball teams to start the 2019 season. We'll also preview next week's games, including a pair of home doubleheaders, basketball doubleheaders. Also within the show, we'll have a couple special guests in the studio, including head baseball coach Mike Laird, as well as softball player Emily Brown will be joining us in the studio. All of that and much more, you're in the locker room. The polar vortex took over last week in the Midwest, and it definitely affected some of William Penn's games, some that had to be moved to this coming week. But we'll get right into the action, beginning with senior night for the wrestling team. The wrestling team taking on Central in senior night on Tuesday in Penn Gymnasium. A handful of individuals were on the mat for the final time in their collegiate careers. And fortunately, two of them were able to come away with victories. Darkwell Pierre, a junior, took over at 133 pounds. It was kind of a situation of two Darkwells, as he started out real strong with a pair of takedowns in the early periods. Led 8-3 early, but it was 8-8 late. He was able to, though, take the win with that escape late. Then Johnny Hopper at 165 pounds, already leading 4-3, picks up a takedown here. That gave him some momentum in the third period, and he pulled away, ends up taking a major decision victory at 165. And then at 174 pounds, Austin Goen trailing 3-0, but his Central opponent gets a little sloppy on top, and Austin reverses him and ends up getting in prime position right away, and will get the pin at 174. Unfortunately for William Penn, the 3 wins were not enough, as your Statesmen fall 35-13 to Central. Once again, Pierre with the win at 133, Hopper with the major decision, and Goen with the fall. Hopper and Goen seniors. Also, again, like I said, the polar vortex forcing some cancellations for William Penn. Clark game on Wednesday. Games moved to this coming Monday, but also we ended up, after some warming up, finally got back on the hardwood on Saturday as Mid-American Nazarene came to town. The women's contest, by far the biggest one of the season for William Penn. As you look at those records, this was first place on the line against number 6 Mid-American Nazarene. William Penn struggling early, fell down 14-3, but here's Mackenzie Peasley knocking one down from the corner. She had a hot start, 8 points in the first quarter, another 3-pointer from the opposite corner, and William Penn down just 2 after 1 quarter. Then late here in the second period, Brenda Pennington pulling up for an 18-footer. William Penn tied at halftime. And then the third quarter was all Statesmen, scoring 7 points right out of the gate. Vashi Wabarocha with that bucket and 1. As William Penn scores 29 points in the third quarter, including here Autumn Voigt with a nice bucket. She took over a couple different times during the game. And then the fourth quarter, William Penn pulling away, never threatened in the final quarter. Jenna Santee getting the bucket there, and William Penn pulls off what some would consider an upset, but that game, again, after starting down 14-3, William Penn outscored Mid-American Nazarene 77-48 over the last 3.5 quarters for the convincing win. Wabarocha with 29 points and 8 rebounds, Peasley with 14 points, and Pennington with 10 points. So William Penn now all alone in first place in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. The men finishing up the conference doubleheader. The men, like the women, lost to the Pioneers in December, and revenge was on their minds. The team was without several key players, so others had to step up, and one of those individuals was Eddie Daly, hitting the 3-pointer from the top of the key here. He scored a game-high 18 points. Then Daly with another trifecta at the top of the key. He had 14 at halftime. William Penn up 4 at the break. The second half, Mid-American Nazarene came out strong, but William Penn, led by Malik Thomas there with that three-pointer. Malik was another individual that stepped up. Big time three here, and William Penn will hang on. Mid-American Nazarene made it interesting late, but a balanced attack with 5 players in double figures helped William Penn to the 84-81 victory. Eddie Daly with 18 points, 9 rebounds. Omar Sherman with a big double-double of 15 and 15, and again, Malik Thomas 13 points as well. So yeah, some nice victories there for the William Penn basketball teams. Also in action, the baseball team opening up their 2019 season, and they went down to Oklahoma for a 4-set a pair of doubleheaders, taking on Randall, and it was all William Penn all weekend. The first game, William Penn wins 19-7, hits all around for everyone. Lionel Colon with the win, going 5 innings with 7 Ks. Second game, William Penn picks it up 14-1. And Chase Stratton with a huge game on the mound, complete game, getting 11 strikeouts, did not allow a walk. William Penn had, I believe, 5 home runs in the first day down in Oklahoma. Second day, it kept on going for your Statesman, 15-1 victory in the opener, and then 21-8 in the second game. So again, all William Penn, and when it was all said and done, William Penn outscored the Saints 69-17 overall on the weekend. 7 home runs total for William Penn. Also in action over the weekend, the women's and men's bowling teams headed east over to Illinois and competed in the MCKENDREE Baker Challenge. And the women had a huge day, finishing 3rd overall with 7,511 pins total. They had 14 games total of at least 200 pins out of the 40 total Baker games. Then also on the men's side, the men struggled a bit. They only finished 14th. Track and field, just a light week for the track and field team preparing for the Heart of America Athletic Conference Championships this coming week. There's just a field meet over at Grandview, but several high finishes for William Penn. Most notably, Elena Van Arsdale picked up 2 third-place finishes, in both times improving on her previous personal best, and she's now ranking in the top 10 in both events, in the weight throw and the shot put, and Sage Arisman also with a 2nd-place finish in the shot put. The Missouri Valley Open was host to William Penn over the weekend, and a handful of individuals had at least 2 wins at the Missouri Valley Open. Darquel Pierre, Tyshawn Cannon, and Sheldon Rodriguez all with 3 victories. Pierre and Rodriguez both placed in the top 6, and Cannon had 2 major decisions and 1 fall. So again, polar vortex, that was the big key word in the Midwest over the last several days, but it's warmed up and we're back to action. And when we come back in the locker room, we will have head baseball coach Mike Laird talking about the 2019 season.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters, and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. We have a special guest in the studio with us today as head baseball coach Mike Laird will be joining us. We're going to talk about all the runs and defense that were performed last weekend. Great 4-game set against Randall. We'll also be talking about a big 2019 season that's upcoming. So, Coach, appreciate you coming in for a few minutes. 69 runs, not typical for the first weekend of the year, but got to be excited about what you saw last weekend with the offense, but also that pitching staff, including Chase Stratton, had some really good moments as well. So let's talk about the 4-game set.
Yeah, it was. You never know traveling that far, and first time out, we never played Randall, never played down there before, and we have a lot of new guys. So it was the first time on the field for most of our guys. I think we only had 2 starters that played last year that were on the field for us. But no, I was very, very happy, obviously, with our hitting, our run production. Was not totally expected, but I'll take it. I mean, if we could continue half of that the rest of the year, it'd be a pretty good season. So, and pitching, as you indicated, we had some guys that stepped up, and I kind of expected that with Chase and the guys, Lionel, and yeah, they did a nice job. Pitch count, aside from 1 inning, was all right where it needs to be, and so yeah, it looks really good for hopefully for the next weekend and the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you never want to pinpoint one guy, and there's no way you could with all that run production and such. But one kid that you were high on, you were excited about, thought, you know what, he could be the real deal, and Tanner Badier showed it. Freshman, right from in-state here, and had some pop and also pitched a little bit. So you got to be excited about the new kid. A lot of new kids.
Yeah, Tanner, I saw him play a lot in high school, probably 6 times last year, and I knew he was very, very good. But you just don't know sometimes how freshmen are going to become acclimated to college pitching and the speed of the game and those sorts of things. But he's a very, very mature guy. He's really not bothered by the moment or big situations. So he's a unique freshman, no doubt. And yeah, to see him hit 2 home runs first day out in William Penn uniform was very impressive. And then on Saturday, second day out, we started him 3rd game in the series, and he went 5 innings, got the win, threw only 54 pitches, just in total command almost the whole game. So very, very happy with him. He did a nice job.
Definitely. Coming off a couple subpar seasons, it's not normal William Penn season. And going into 2019, you were looking and are looking to switch the script on all of that. So talk about some of the things that you've wanted to accomplish this year when you were going out recruiting, the type of guys you're looking for to turn it back.
Yeah, the big thing is, we're looking for athletic talent. Baseball's a skills game. You can't just be a hard thrower and be a good pitcher. You can't just be a fast runner, and you've got to be able to do a lot of things skill-wise within a team concept. And so you're looking for guys, hopefully, that have really high character and that fit into that team, that team mold. And I think I got lucky, to be honest about it. I switched it up, went a couple different places recruiting-wise, and we got a good mix with some transfers and obviously with some freshmen too. So real happy with the recruiting year.
Definitely. Again, it's only 1 weekend, so much more to see out of this team, but a great start. You guys go back down to Oklahoma this coming week against Pecan, and then you've got a few other trips down south into Missouri, and then all of a sudden you're right into the Heart of America Athletic Conference action. So a lot of games. What are you hoping to see over the next few weeks going into getting prepared for league play?
Well, that's a good question. Obviously improvement. And when you score that many runs, you're saying, well, how do you improve on that? Well, we're going to see better pitching. We're going to probably see better teams, and in particular, by the time we get to the league, which is 1st of March, 2nd of March, we're going to have some serious pitching. We're going to have some. There's an awful lot of very, very good teams and very, very good players, upper division players in baseball in our league. So we put up some numbers. A lot of guys put up some numbers, and that's great. But we gotta. I'm talking to some guys this morning. We've got to really focus on getting better. This weekend and then the following weekend and so forth and so on until we get into the league.
Definitely. Let's highlight a couple other players, notably of returners. Seth Reisbeck returns.
Right.
You talked to, there's so many new guys that you don't know what you have, but with the Seth Reisbeck coming off an all-conference year and he's a Gold Glover, you know what you're going to get out of him.
Right.
So how much are you going to rely on him early on in the season to grow these guys a little bit?
Well, he's a quiet leader, and he's kind of a steady Eddie, so to speak, guy. Doesn't get excited at all. Sometimes you have to kick him to see if he's still breathing. But he's a very good, obviously a very good defensive player, Gold Glove guy, and he hit consistently 350 or above. So he's really our main guy back and in the lineup. So we depend on him quite a bit to get a feel for. Of course, we're playing a little bit different schedule too. We didn't take the long trip down to Tucson, so. These long weekends, they really take a toll. They can take a toll on you physically if you don't keep things in perspective and get your rest and everything. But he's done a real good job, and he's, like I said, he's just steady Eddie down there at third, and he doesn't try to do too much at the plate. Outstanding approach at the plate, and hits the ball where it's at. He can go deep in the count. He gets on base a lot. He can knock runs in with 2 outs. So he's a good player.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, Coach, again, congratulations on a great start to the season. We're not expecting 69 runs, but maybe we'll get 68 this coming week. So, no pressure or anything. So, best of luck down in McCone, and the rest of the season we'll definitely be keeping tabs on you. So, once again, head baseball coach Mike Laird. When we return, we will be previewing next week's games, including a couple of home doubleheaders.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
Create my visions. Get the hands-on learning that I need.
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters, and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. We are with Emily Brown, senior softball player out of Waverly, Iowa. Missed last year, but is ready to go for her final campaign here at William Penn. So, Em, appreciate coming on for a little bit. I know you're super excited about actually getting to play again, and so let's talk, just rewind that a little bit. Unfortunately, you didn't get to play last year, but knowing how last year kind of went down, maybe not such a bad thing.
No, it ended up kind of being a blessing, just because I'll be able to kind of fulfill my senior year a little bit better this year, so I'm really excited. Right,
and obviously we have no idea what this team is going to look like, but early on, we had Coach on last week, and he was just really excited about the team that you guys have compiled, and the leadership with all of you seniors, and the new kids have bought in, and it just seems like a really good team chemistry so far. So talk about, I guess, the team and just how you guys are getting along and working towards that common goal.
Yeah, we have a lot of new girls this year too, and they brought in a really great atmosphere. Everyone has that drive to want to win and be successful, so that's helping a lot, and it's helping us seniors because we're really excited about this season.
Yeah, so. No, definitely. Starting this weekend, you guys are going down to Texas. The weather did look good for a couple days up here. It looked horrible, then great, and it's Midwest weather, so it's what you get. But going down to Texas, so you'll get some hopefully good warm weather. How excited are you guys to finally, just get back out onto the diamond and show what you've learned over the last few months?
We're really excited. Everyone's itching to get on the field. So we can only do so much in the pack, but at the same time, we're really lucky to have that facility. So we're able to scrimmage, but we're excited to get on the dirt.
Yeah. As the catcher, you work with all of the pitchers. Namely, I'm going to talk about Katie Springer here for a second, but worked with her. Just talk about, I guess, your relationship with all of the pitchers and how that's different as a catcher versus a different anybody else out in the field, or just the type of relationship you have to have.
You have to be pretty close. You have to understand the pitchers. I've been pretty lucky that I've gotten to know Katie for a long time. I actually played against her at JUCO, so I kind of knew how she threw, so that helped coming in. But I've gotten to know her and Shelby pretty well, so I know what they throw, what their favorite pitch is, and especially compared to everyone else, you have to understand their mindset, and you have to keep them thinking more positive than worrying about that last pitch or getting upset because a call didn't go their way. So.
You guys are going to go with a bit of a different style this year, and it sounds like this is kind of the trend that softball is doing, but it sounds like 4 innings with Katie or 4 innings with Shelby, or however. I guess it's just going to be Katie, I should say. 4 innings with Katie, then going to Shelby. How is that? Is that going to be an impact as a catcher, knowing that, I'm going to have to switch, catcher, or switch my pitchers, and maybe possibly switch my styles with how I'm dealing with my pitchers, just mid-game like that? Yeah,
we'll definitely have to adjust, that's for sure, especially the speeds. It'll be like a 5 to 6 mile an hour difference. Shelby and Katie, they can throw relatively the same pitch-wise, but at the same time, Shelby has a different strength than Katie does, and they play off each other really well. So.
Switch it over to talking about the hitting game. Coach Christner has mentioned that you guys' offense is going to be considerably better.
Yes.
A lot more power in the lineup, and something that we've been missing for a while, since 2 years ago when you hit a lot. But just talk about, I guess, your overall team goal at the plate, as well as your own goal, how you approach your hitting style.
Yeah, we want to produce a lot of runs, and we have that opportunity this year. This year we have a lot of power hitters, so it's not necessarily we're going to have that original 6-7 batter, 8 batter. Everyone's going to have power, so it's exciting.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's also some speed out there that you guys are going to take advantage of, maybe stretching a double into a triple, so just pushing a single from just getting that extra base. Also, I guess one final thing, talking about expectations for this year. Again, coming off a tough year, I know Coach is done with that. Turn the page, let's go on. But he's very excited about this year. Internally, what have you ladies been talking about as your expectations for this year, and then also your own personal expectation for senior year?
The bar set pretty high. After last year, it was pretty upsetting, and a lot of us were upset. I know I didn't get the opportunity to help out last year, but with this senior group, we're expecting to win a lot of games and at least stay in games, not wanting to give up like did last year. And that's what's nice about this new group coming in, is we all have that drive, and so that's going to help us a lot this year, and hopefully be up there in the conference. So make it to that conference tournament this year.
Definitely. Well, best of luck this weekend. Cowtown Classic, an awesome name down in Fort Worth, Texas. But best of luck throughout the year. We'll keep tabs of you. So once again, Emily Brown of the William Penn softball team. When we return, we will preview all of William Penn's games next week. You're in the locker room.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Mother Nature doesn't appear to be having any more issues down the road here, so we should be able to get right into all of our action this week, and let's see what the Statesmen are doing. On Monday night, Clark will be coming to town for a doubleheader. Hopefully, let's see what the women will be able to do after that massive win over MNU. But Clark, a very tough team on the women's side. The men's side could be also a tough game. The men are struggling a bit, and Clark has played well as of late. So that's Monday night, Clark coming to town for basketball. Then on Tuesday night, the wrestling team will be going down to Hannibal, Missouri to take on Hannibal LaGrange in the final duel of the season, non-conference duel. Look to see if they can pick up win number 3 on the year. Also in action, moving forward, the baseball team will have some new games, excuse me, also down in Oklahoma as well. There will be, you'll see here, William Penn 4-0 taking on Bacone in a 4-game series down in Muskogee, Oklahoma, looking to up their record to hopefully 8-0 when the weekend is all over. Women's basketball team will then open up a doubleheader against Baker on Saturday. They defeated Baker by 18 almost 2 months ago. Then on the men's side, the men will also be taking on the Wildcats. William Penn, again, struggling a bit right now. Let's see if they can finish off the season sweep against Baker. They won by 19 down in Kansas in December. The William Penn softball team will be opening the 2019 season as well this year, going down to Texas on Friday and Saturday. Be taking on Tabor, Bethel of Kansas, Central Baptist, Columbia, and Avila. And also the track and field teams will be going over to Nebraska for their biggest meet of the year. Competing in the Heart of America Athletic Championships on Friday and Saturday as well. So we'll have all of those recaps and much more, including interviews with coaches and student athletes next week. So thank you again, Statesman Nation, for joining us, and until next week, go Statesman.